Hi, Jake with Diode Dynamics. Today in the garage, we're going to be upgrading the stock low, high, and front turn signal bulbs on this 2016 F150 with our plug-and-play LED upgrades. Installation is straightforward and can be done at home in your garage. Stay tuned to the end of the video where we're going to show you the massive difference between those stock headlight bulbs and our SL1 LED upgrades. Let's get started with the installation. To get started with the installation of our SL1 LED headlight bulbs, we're going to move to the passenger side of the truck and remove 4 bolts from the front side of the fender well. Now we're located just behind this passenger side headlight, and these 4 5.5mm bolts, we'll use a socket to take them out, and then there's one plastic rivet that we actually twist to pull out. That will give us access to the back of the headlight so that we can remove the stock bulb and install the SL1. Now after we've removed the 4 5.5mm screws, we do have this plastic rivet. It will turn counterclockwise and twist most of the way out, but then once it's almost all the way, you're going to want to use either a flathead screwdriver or a plastic trim removal tool like we are today to pop it the rest of the way out. Once we've got our 4 bolts and our plastic rivet out of the way, we're going to push the fender liner in and up to get it around the clips that those bolts were secured to, and that'll give us access to the back of the headlight so that we can remove our stock halogen low beam. Now, for the camera angle, we've actually pulled the fender liner back a bit more than you're going to need to actually access your low beam bulbs. So what we're going to do next is remove the factory dust cap from the low beam, which is the top-sided bulb on the back of the headlight, so it's going to be the furthest bulb away from you. We'll remove that dust cap and then turn that bulb counterclockwise to remove it from the housing, disconnect it from the factory harness, and then we'll install our SL1 LED replacement. Now, if you're installing the SL1 for the first time, you might notice that it's physically larger than your factory halogen bulb. Now, when we were engineering the SL1, we had the F150 specifically in mind. So, rest assured that the SL1 and the attached driver tuck nice and neat inside that factory F150 housing and allow you to reinstall the dust cap. Now, if you've ever used some generic or cheaper LED headlight bulbs, you may have found that they didn't allow you to reinstall that factory dust cap, but with the F150 being so often used off pavement in dirt, mud, rain, we wanted to make sure that you could still retain that factory dust cap to keep everything nice, clean, and dry inside your headlight. Now, these bulbs are polar sensitive, so if you plug your SL1 in and it doesn't light up immediately, flip your connection to 180 degrees and reinstall it. One important note, fitment is actually kind of tight behind the housing, so you'll want to go ahead and tuck your driver and your harness before installing the bulb. With that secure, we can insert the SL1 back into the housing and we'll turn it clockwise to secure it. With our SL1 secured in the housing, we can reinstall that factory dust cap. With our SL1 LED low beam bulb installed, we'll go ahead and move on to our turn signal. Now we're going to be installing one of our switchback bulbs. So what you'll do is you'll reach to this middle harness, and again, we're behind the passenger side headlight. You'll turn this tan harness counterclockwise and remove the stock turn signal bulb. With our factory turn signal bulb out, we can go ahead and install our HP24 switchback bulb. At 410 lumens, this is going to be a significant upgrade with 360-degree light projection. Now, we have other options available that are amber only, but the switchback option is definitely the most popular for this generation F150. Now, these give you a pure bright white running light that's a perfect match for our SL1 LED headlights, and it alternates with a crisp amber flasher when you turn or use your hazards. We'll take our HP24 switchback bulb, plug that directly in, and once that's secure, we'll go ahead and reinstall it back into the housing, turn it clockwise to secure it. With our switchback turn signal bulb installed, we'll move on to the high beam. Now the high beam is going to be this lower dust cap, and again, we're behind the passenger headlight, so just like we did for the low beam, remove that dust cap and set it to the side. Then we're going to turn that stock low beam counterclockwise, pull it out from the housing, and disconnect it from the harness. You'll simply pull up on this tab, and that stock bulb slides right out. Then we'll take our 9005 SL1 and connect it to that factory harness. Now, if your SL1 high beam doesn't activate right away when you turn on your high beams, not a big deal. Just like we did with the low beams, you can simply disconnect it from the harness, flip the connector 180 degrees, and reconnect. Now, just like we did with our SL1 low beams, we're going to want to go ahead and tuck the driver and harness inside the back of the housing before we insert the bulb. It's going to be a tight fit, so you will have to apply some extra pressure to this high beam bulb in order to get it to seat properly in the housing, but it does fit. There's no modification needed. It just takes a little bit of extra effort. Now, as you can see on the camera, that took just a little bit of extra effort, but that bulb does go in no problem at all. So we're going to reinstall our factory dust cap, and then our installation on the passenger side will be complete once we resecure this fender liner. Then we'll repeat all the same steps on the driver's side of the truck to finalize our installation. With our SL1 LED low and high beam bulbs installed, you can see this F150 has a much more modern look, but that's far from the complete picture. On our low beam bulbs alone, we went from 351 measured lux to 1,008, 187% increase over stock with a plug-and-play LED headlight bulb. With the high beams, we went from 750 measured lux to a whopping 2,038. Again, an increase of 171% over the stock. Now, on top of the SL1s, we also installed a more cosmetic upgrade, which is our Switchback LED front turn signal bulbs. Now, to keep these from hyper blinking or hyper flashing, we did install our resistor kit. If you're not sure how to install resistors, that's okay. The link to our resistor installation video is in the description below. For more information on our SL1 LED headlight bulbs or Switchback front turn signals, click the link below or use our dealer locator tool to find a dealer near you. Thanks for watching.